So this topic that I've picked up today is called China, and this is a huge topic. So we are going to go step by step, right? So let's start from the very beginning. We are going to first talk about India and China, and then we will talk about anything else. So if we have to understand what are the okay, so we need to learn what are the boundary states, right? I have said this before, I'll say it again. Arun, Ladakh का सिपाही हिमालय पे उतरा. Right? So what is Arun? Arun is Arunachal Pradesh. Ladakh is Ladakh, of course. Ka is nothing. Sipahi is Sikkim, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand. So which are our boundary states? There is Arunachal Pradesh. The second one is Ladakh. The third one is Sikkim. Fourth is Himachal Pradesh. And then we have Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand. Now let's start from the very beginning and I'll tell you the relevance later. Correct. What are these states? ये वो states हैं बेटा जो border कर रहे हैं चाइना के साथ. अरुण लद्दाख का सिपाही हिमालय पे उतरा is a way to learn it. These are the bordering states or UTs with China. India, China. Alright? Okay. So we are going to start off from the very beginning. I'll start off with something called the Simla Convention. Now, Simla Convention and Shimla Agreement are two separate things. We are not talking about Pakistan, we are talking about China. So the Simla Convention, it happened in the year 1914 and it was between three parties. The first one was the Great Britain, or we can call it British India. The second one was China and third was Tibet. इन तीनों के बीच में एक agreement sign हुई in the year 1914. And what was this agreement all about? It was basically about the boundaries कि कौन सी जगह किसके अंडर आएगी. ठीक है? And very rightly said by Sudhanva, at that time China was basically Republic of China. And I will tell you what does that mean in some time. But this is Republic of China. Alright. Now, from British India's side, there was this guy called Sir Arthur Henry McMahon. So Sir Arthur Henry McMahon. He was the Foreign Secretary at that time. Alright. The second thing is Tibet's representation. The person who represented Tibet at that time was Paljor Dorje Shatra. Now you do not have to learn the entire name. Even if you learn, some other, a little portion of this Shatra or Dorje or Paljor or whatever it is, that's perfectly fine. And yes, Abbas, we will discuss Tibet now, and we will also discuss Taiwan. So PDS is a wonderful way of learning it. PDS करके learn कर लो. And China was being represented by someone called Evan Chen. So what were they supposed to do? They were supposed to delineate all the boundaries. And they were basically, अक्षता किसके सामने लिखा है? तिब्बत के सामने लिखा है, तो तिब्बत का representative है. बड़ी simple सी बात है. Representative of British India is Sir Arthur Henry McMahon. Representative of China is Evan Chen, and representative of Tibet is PDS. Anyway, now they were to delineate this area called the Buddhist region. Now, how do we divide this Buddhist region? We can divide it into two parts. There is this outer Tibet, and then there is another region called the inner Tibet. That's how they divided Tibet, all the areas, into two parts. They said जो भी area outer Tibet के अंदर आता है वो Tibetan government के अंदर ही आएगा, right? But इसके ऊपर Chinese suzerainty होगी. I will explain what this means. Let me first write it down. Now, I've heard the term sovereignty. I've never heard the term suzerainty. What does this mean? This particular term basically means that there is a foreign country that has the right to rule over my country. एक फॉरेन कंट्री मेरे कंट्री के ऊपर रूल करना, मतलब उसके पास अथॉरिटी है, लेकिन मेरी कंट्री अपने खुद के इंटरनल अफेयर्स देख सकती है. सो सॉवरेनिटी का मतलब क्या होता है? चाहे इंटरनल हो चाहे एक्सटर्नल हो, चाहे इंटरनल रीजन है चाहे एक्सटर्नल रीजन है, राइट? व्हाटएवर अफेयर्स, अगर सॉवरेनिटी है तो मेरी कंट्री डिसाइड करेगी. लेकिन अगर सोवरेनिटी की बात करें तो एक फॉरेन कंट्री हैज द राइट टू रूल ओवर माय कंट्री, बट आई हैव अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ ऑटोनॉमी. Buddhist region did not have any meaning, beta. It basically meant a region where people were practicing Buddhism. So Devansh, what happened was in the SCO summit, amongst many other things, there was one thing that we spoke about, and that was a Buddhist heritage. What will be a Buddhist heritage? It will be very, very simple. It will be something, a place or majority of the place where Buddhism is being practiced. Simple as that, right? So that is what this is. And like I said, I'll take up most of the questions in the last 15 minutes ताकि किसी का time waste ना हो बेटा. ठीक है? Okay. So now, समृद्धि, रुको. अब सो ये वाली चीज हमें समझ में आ गई. और इनर टिबेट क्या है? इनर टिबेट विल बी समथिंग विच विल बी अंडर द रिपब्लिक ऑफ चाइना. रिपब्लिक ऑफ चाइना क्या है? एक ऐसी पार्टी है जो कि चाइना को चला रही है. वी डू नॉट नो व्हाट दैट इज. समृद्धि, लाइक आई सेड, एवरीथिंग विल बी डन. वेट फॉर इट. And the questions that are not answered, ask in the last 15 minutes. So China, British India, and the third one is Tibet. हमने बुद्धिस्ट, जो भी लोग बुद्धिज्म प्रीच कर रहे थे, उन रीजन्स को दो हिस्सों में बांट दिया. लेकिन बिल्कुल एंड में 1914 में, I mean these obviously these negotiations were happening for a long time. बिल्कुल एंड में जाके China says no. China का Republic of China, this Evan Chen, he says no, I'm not going to be a part of it. And so at the end of it, it was Sir Arthur Henry McMahon and Paljor Dorje Shastra, also known as PDS. These were the two people who actually signed the final agreement. Take a screenshot, give me a thumbs up, and we will go ahead. Yeah. McMahon, correct. We call it McMahon. क्या करें? India है. Who signed it? The three people who are written on your screen. What is suzerainty? It means that a foreign country will rule over my country and I can take care of my own internal affairs. Inner Tibet is a part of Tibet which they said will go under Republic of China. But even Chen said the entire area which is professing the Buddhism region should come under me. China ने मना इसलिए किया क्योंकि उसको सब कुछ चाहिए. No, it didn't. So suzerainty is similar to the concept of a protectorate. Yes, it is similar to the concept of even a dominion state. All right, let's go ahead. Now, so this is basically at the end of it all, in every single article, they talk about this 1914 Simla Convention that this country, China, does not agree with. So this is something that we've just spoken about. Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about is this, one second, is this line that we keep reading about, right? And where is this line from and where does it end? All of that we will talk about. So this 1914 में ये particular line जो है, ये एक भूटान के कॉर्नर से खींची गई लाइन है up to another place called Isu Razi Pason. As of now, this particular area is lying on the China-Myanmar border. How long is it? It is 890 kilometers. And on what principle have we made this? We made it on the principle of highest watershed. Now, what does that mean? Highest watershed is basically the highest area between two rivers और river plains. ठीक है? तो कुछ दो जगहों के बीच में जो हाईएस्ट एरिया है उसको हम लोगों ने डिलिनेट कर दिया. लेकिन 1914 में ही हमने एक एक्सेप्शन बनाई. अब मैं ये बता रही हूँ कि ये वाला पोर्शन सिर्फ आपको समझाने के लिए है. यू डोंट हैव टू लर्न दिस. ये भी नहीं लर्न करना. हाँ, ये लर्न जरूर कर सकते हो, बट ये डेफिनेटली लर्न करना है. दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट. दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट. Exception is important. Now, because that is where it was signed, Ananya, sorry. So the exception to this area is this place called Tawang. And now why is this an exception? It should have ideally, according to this agreement, it should have been made a part of Tibet. It should have been a part of Tibet. लेकिन टिबेट का पार्ट ना बनाते हुए इसको हमने बनाया ब्रिटिश इंडिया का पार्ट. क्यों ब्रिटिश इंडिया का पार्ट बनाया? क्योंकि at that time Sir Henry felt that we should make it a part of British India because it will be very, very simple, very easy to attack India or British India through Tawang. All right. When I write that Simla Convention is in front of 1914, it's very simple. Yes, it was signed in 1914. So coming back over here, it was made a part of British India. And in fact, this made sense because in the 1962 war of Indochina, कहाँ तक चाइनीज ट्रूप्स आ गए थे और किस जगह को इन्होंने कैप्चर किया था? They had captured this place called Tawang. Yes, they did not have those many ammunitions left, or they did not have those many, whatever, खाना पीना जो भी, ये सारी चीजें इनके पास नहीं थी. And जिसके वजह से they had to retreat. But that is why, Tawang, and very rightly said, which is close to the Assam plains, it was made to be a part of British India, and right now it is very much an integral part of India. अगर 1962 की वॉर की बात करें तो ऑफ कोर्स अभी थोड़ी देर में इनके बारे में बात भी करेंगे, बट from China's end, the guy who was heading the entire operation, that was Mao Zedong. And from India, the Prime Minister was Jawaharlal Nehru. The Defense Minister at that time was a person who was not, he shouldn't have been the Defense Minister. His name was Krishna Menon. And why do I say he should not have been the Defense Minister? Well, you can read about him. He was more interested in sitting in very, very nice cars, than actually taking care of this entire country. And they were more interested in saying Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai than actually realizing anything. And it was a classic example where our politicians tried to tell the army people what they should do. Yes, तवांग is very much a part of India. बेटा अभी ब्रिटिश के अंदर नहीं है ना, ये मैं तब की बात बोल रही हूँ. Anyway, so coming back to this, Tawang was made a part of British India, and it is one of the most disputable portions there, right? Let's go ahead, all of the questions at the end. Fine? So that बाकी सबका जितनों का हो गया वो जाके अपना क्विज कर ले, उनका टाइम वेस्ट ना हो. पर एक एक क्वेश्चन अपने साइड में लिख लो, सारे के सारे एक साथ पूछो. ठीक है? तो भूटान के एक एरिया से लेके इसुराजी पासोन तक, which is on China Myanmar border, what is the most important thing here is this is 890 kilometers and this is the McMahon line. Fine? And please take a screenshot, let me know, and let's go ahead. Yes, yeah, absolutely correct. Tawang is very much a part of India, beta. Integral part of India. Give me a thumbs up once all of you are done with it so that I can go ahead. कॉन्सेप्ट क्लास ओवर हो गई का क्या मतलब? ओके, सो दो रिवर प्लेन्स के बीच का जो हाईएस्ट वाला पोर्शन है उसको बोल दिया हमने. Menon wasn't bad, he was just an Ayash. He was just interested in spending a lot of money on himself. Sorry, I'm not the right person to ask about the videos. I do not know where that was. He resigned and then Nehru was upset for that. Yes, that's true. Can you please explain? Okay, I can repeat this again. So in 1914, there was a Simla Convention. Through the Simla Convention, the eastern side of your country, now imagine the eastern side of your country, we basically delineated a lot of boundaries. And we said there are certain areas which will be a part of Tibet. There will be certain areas that will be part of India. China at that time wanted to be a part of it, but later on wanted the entire thing, so they sort of did not sign the agreement. Now, in this particular McMahon line, they said 890 kilometers की जो line है, दो एक plain areas हैं, उसके ऊपर से अगर हम बात करें, तो highest जो watershed area, highest portion, highest location between these two river plains, that is where the McMahon line was made. McMahon line was made. The exception to the case was Tawang. Tawang, according to this particular thing, was supposed to be a part of Tibet, but we made it a part of British India because we felt that it is very, very easy to attack India or at that time British India through Tawang. इसलिए तवांग को इंडिया का पार्ट बनाया. एंड 1962 में तवांग तक चाइनीज आर्मी आ चुकी थी, उन्होंने कैप्चर कर लिया था, वो अलग बात है, दैट दे रिट्रीटेड, राइट. सो चाइना का जो हेड था एट दैट टाइम, द प्रीमियर, दैट वाज माओ जेडोंग. We'll talk about that and Taiwan in just 2 minutes. The PM was Nehru, who was doing Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. And the defense minister, very infamous defense minister of India, was Krishna Menon. So what all do we have to learn from here? We have to learn the year of the Simla Convention. We have to learn the line, how many kilometers. We can not learn this, but we should ideally learn this, right? We should know about Tawang. We should know about the year of the war. We should know about the Chinese premier, also the PM and the defense minister. Right? Okay. Yeah, the president only. Was it any blame? अच्छा, सारे questions 1962 की war है बेटा. मेरी बात सुनो सारे के सारे. I'm not saying I'm not going to answer your questions. I'm saying if I answer your questions, I will not be able to teach the entire thing. अब ध्यान से सुनो और ध्यान से पढ़ो. ऐसा है कि बहुत सारे आपके क्वेश्चंस का आंसर जो है बाद में भी आ जाएगा, राइट? तो आप ध्यान से सुनिए, आप साथ साथ अपनी नोटबुक में सारे क्वेश्चंस लिखिए और लास्ट के 15 मिनट्स चाहे 1 घंटा लीजिए लास्ट में और अपने क्वेश्चंस पूछिए. जस्ट मेरे को एक बार पढ़ाने दीजिए, क्योंकि क्या है कि कुछ बच्चे जो हैं वो फिर जाके पढ़ लेंगे अपना और आपके सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर आएगा. इतना समझ में आया जिससे यस और नो. जगह का नाम है बेटा. डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई जस्ट सेड? एवरीबडी, I will answer everyone's question. I'm not saying I won't. I'm saying right now, there might be certain questions that I will answer during this class itself. But regardless of whether I answer them or not, you want me to repeat it, you want me to say it again, I will do that. I will sit with you till 2 o'clock in the morning. You just have to have some kind of patience. That's all that I'm saying. Because there are some kids who would like to just listen to the entire thing, would like to do their quiz and sleep. So I'm just trying to do it that way. ठीक है, जैसे हम ऑफलाइन क्लास में करते हैं. Is that okay? Thank you. Let's go ahead. Now, if we go ahead, we will talk about a little bit about China and Taiwan. तो ऐसा है, before China and Taiwan actually, जो चीज आपके पीडीएफ में है वो मैं पीडीएफ के थ्रू कराऊंगी. जो चीज आपके पीडीएफ में नहीं है उसको मेरे को थोड़ा सा बात करने दो. So China, it sort of claims approximately 90,000 square kilometers of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, why does it do that? Firstly, China does not believe in the McMahon line. It doesn't. Because there was no Chinese representative who signed it. The 1914 Simla Convention. That is one. The second thing is that it is Arunachal Pradesh, the Sadia town of Arunachal Pradesh, which is exceptionally important, through which a river enters our country. And the river that enters our country, the name of that river is Brahmaputra. जनता हमारे देश में भी बहुत है, जनता उनके देश में भी बहुत है. और ऐसा है कि जहां पे इंसान ज्यादा है वहां पे पानी की जरूरत भी ज्यादा है. Unfortunately for China, they don't end up using a lot of water in this particular river, because you see this river has changed its course and India ends up using most of it. So what basically happens over here, I'll repeat it again and listen to me properly. So I'm talking about this place called Arunachal Pradesh, this state called Arunachal Pradesh, and this fixation of this stupid country called China with respect to Arunachal Pradesh. So the very first thing that I'd like to say is that why does China believe that Arunachal Pradesh is a part of it? क्योंकि अभी थोड़ी देर के बाद हम लोग स्टेपल्ड वीजास की भी बात करेंगे. थोड़ी देर के बाद हम लोग वाइब्रेंट विलेजेस प्रोग्राम की भी बात करेंगे. और जो चीजें आपके पीडीएफ में ऑलरेडी दे दी हैं वो मैं यहाँ पे लिख के नहीं करूंगी, वो मैं पीडीएफ के द्वारा करूंगी. अब ध्यान से सुनिए. जहां पे जनता ज्यादा होती है, when there is more population, वो पॉपुलेशन को क्या चाहिए? खाना चाहिए, पानी चाहिए, और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है पानी चाहिए. अब now what happens is that Arunachal Pradesh, ma'am, the Brahmaputra river's tributary in China is the largest but has the smallest volume of water, isn't it? What is a tributary, Tanmay? Tributary होती है सहायक नदी. Tributary actually नदी नहीं होती. Anyway, coming back over here, they want this Arunachal Pradesh A because they do not believe in the Simla Convention. That is one. And the second thing is that they want this Brahmaputra river that enters our country from this town called Sadia. Sadia is the name of a town. Where is that town? In Arunachal Pradesh. So they over and over again want this particular area. Now, coming back over here, they claim at least approximately 90,000 square kilometer of Arunachal Pradesh. And you know what they call it? अरुणाचल प्रदेश के इस पोर्शन को ये चाइना बुलाता क्या है? They either call it South Tibet. एंड तिब्बत की भी कहानी सुनो, तिब्बत भी उसके अंडर है, वो भी करेंगे, 2 मिनट में करेंगे. या फिर it calls it Zagnan. That is what it calls it. Yes. And which is why our country in this particular year, the Ministry of Home Affairs under Mr. Amit Shah, they have introduced this new program called the Vibrant Villages Program. Now, what is this Vibrant Villages Program? Amongst many other things, we are trying to put in a lot of effort here. We want to, क्या लिखा है समृद्धि सादिया के सामने? Town. Town from where ब्रह्मपुत्र enters. अब मैं फिर से बोल रही हूँ समृद्धि, आप अकेले नहीं, सबको बोल रही हूँ. आपके सारे सवालों का आंसर देंगे, एंड में देंगे. अभी आप 2 मिनट के लिए सुन लीजिए. पॉइंट इज, अगर आप सुन लेंगे तो समझ में आ जाएगा. आप रिपीट करवाना चाहते हैं, दैट्स परफेक्टली फाइन. अदरवाइज आई विल सिट विद यू, आई विल आंसर ऑल योर डाउट्स. ऑलराइट. So approximately 90,000 square kilometers of Arunachal Pradesh is being claimed by China, and which is why the Ministry of Home Affairs has started off. That's fine, even if you answer. It's not about you asking the doubt for the first or the last time. Now, you guys are taking it personally. I'm here for you. But you have to understand and just look at it. There are 346 students. Maybe whatever you are asking, I will say it in the course of time. Maybe I won't. I will answer it later. This is not to personally tell you, don't ask your questions. Please do. But understand that I'm going to answer all of them by the end. Is that okay? Thank you. So, Vibrant Villages Program, this has been introduced by the Ministry of Home Affairs, right? And what is this program all about? This has been, so this is going to be for 2,963 villages. Yes. And phase 1 of this particular thing will be for 663 villages. The first village where this entire thing started off from in 2023 was this village called Ki-Bi-Thu. So you can learn it as Thu, you can learn it as whatever. And this Ki-Bi-Thu village, this is based out of Arunachal Pradesh. So what do we have to learn? Ministry of Home Affairs Vibrant Villages Program. Now, what is this Vibrant Villages Program? We will do infrastructural development. Absolutely, yes. It's basically this, that we are doing something for you. You please do something for us. You know, in your PDF, which we will take it up, we will either take it up today, we will take it up later. That depends upon the time. I think ideally this particular topic it will require 2 days. Yes. But the point is कि ये वाली चीज जो है, जो पीडीएफ में है, वो बाद में करेंगे. तो जब आप पीडीएफ अगर आपने पढ़ी है जो मैंने आपको दी है, तो आपने रियलाइज किया होगा that China is trying to build dams, one on Brahmaputra and the second one on one of the tributaries of Ganga. And why are they doing it? For the same reason, because everyone these days, you know, drought like situation की वजह से every country wants water. So if we develop these villages and these village people will come back and they will tell us, and we will be able to take brilliant actions for the same. ITBP, जो कि इंडो टिबेटन बॉर्डर पुलिस है, वो उसमें हमने 7 न्यू बटालियंस इंट्रोड्यूस किए हैं. बटालियंस का मतलब इतने सारे सोल्जर्स इंट्रोड्यूस किए हैं. और क्यों किए हैं? ताकि वो लोग सतर्क रहें, यहाँ पे बैठे रहें, and they also are able to take care of this entire situation. Vigilance, yes. Again, ITBP, Anish Dayal. Everything with respect to that is in the PDF. We will do it there. यहाँ पे मैं वो लिख रही हूँ जो PDF में नहीं है, जो हमारे लिए important है to understand certain things. So kindly take a screenshot of it. Let me know. We will go ahead. So Vibrant Villages program, it's a very simple thing. There are a lot of villages. You see, when I'm vulnerable, when I'm a student, I don't know a lot of things. Maybe I've joined in later, or I'm a vulnerable person for whatever reason. And now मेरे एरिया में पानी नहीं है, बिजली नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. And the local administration is not able to take care of my needs. You see, what happens then is I might be very vulnerable. A foreign country might come up to me and be like, अच्छा इंडिया तुम्हारे लिए ये भी नहीं कर रहा, कोई बात नहीं, हम तुम्हें ये दे देंगे. ये हर जगह होता है. Even though इंडिया ने फाइट मारी हुई है काम करने की, but you see, it's such a huge country. They will end up doing well, but the point is, some people, they're like they're like parasites, and China is one of them. They'll be like, अच्छा इतना नहीं करवाया, कोई बात नहीं, हम करवा देते हैं, आप हमें पैसे दे दो, या फिर आप हमारे लिए कुछ कर लो. Are you getting it? And that is exactly what was happening there. Not just there, even in Jammu and Kashmir. So we started off with a program called the Vibrant Villages program, wherein we said, listen, we are going to make sure that these villages are extremely developed. And we started off with a village which is in Arunachal Pradesh to give a message out to this country called China. So we are going to develop these 2,963 villages, out of which the very first phase would be 663 villages. Yes, you will have to learn this number. एंड इसमें सबसे पहला विलेज का नाम भी आपको लर्न करना है. की भी थू लर्न कर लो, थू लर्न कर लो, जैसे लर्न करना है कर लो, पर करना तो पड़ेगा. एंड दैट इज वेयर वी विल डू आवर डेवलपमेंट. इसके साथ ITBP, व्हाट इज ITBP? इंडो तिब्बतन बॉर्डर पुलिस आपके साथ PDF पे होगा, मैं करवाऊंगी. पर ये इंडो तिब्बतन बॉर्डर पुलिस बनी ही इसलिए था क्योंकि 1962 की वॉर में इंडिया डिड नॉट डू दैट वेल. शेखर, लाइक आई सेड, ऑल ऑफ दैट विल बी डन ना. बच्चे वेट कर ले कि PM डिवाइन गति शक्ति तो पूरे देश के लिए है, सिर्फ अरुणाचल प्रदेश के लिए नहीं है ना. Okay, coming back over here. So that is what this means. Kindly take a screenshot of this and let's go ahead. Yes, sensitive borders only, anonymous attendee. Yes. So ये वही वाली स्टेट्स हैं जो पहली बोली थी, अरुणाचल प्रदेश, अरुण, लद्दाख का सिपाही. सो अरुणाचल प्रदेश, लद्दाख, सिक्किम, हिमाचल प्रदेश एंड उत्तराखंड वहां पे है. ठीक है, बहुत बढ़िया. लेट्स गो अहेड. बिल्कुल सही बोला, Kibitu is also the easternmost point. Now we are going to talk about this country, and this country called China, and this country that not everyone thinks is a actually standalone sovereign country, which is called Taiwan. अब हुआ क्या है यहाँ पे, ध्यान से सुनिए. अब चाइना में दो तरीके की सरकारें, दो टाइप की गवर्नमेंट्स. ठीक है. Sadia is the name of a town through which Brahmaputra enters. Now, China has used to have two types of governments. The very first one was called the Nationalistic Party. And the second one was basically the Communist. Right? अब Nationalistic Party को अगर हम लोग एक और इनकी पार्टी का नाम दे, तो this is Kuomintang Party or They also call themselves the Republic of China, right? If we talk about the Communist Party, this is basically the Chinese Communist Party, right? Also called the People's Republic of China. People's Republic of China. Now, who was this guy who was leading this Kuomintang party? This was being led by a man called Chiang Kai shek. And who was leading the Chinese Communist Party? This was being led by somebody called Mao Zedong. So this was a fight between ideologies कि हमने इस कंट्री को किस तरीके से चलाना है. अब बात इतनी सी हुई that at the end of it all, who prevailed? The Chinese Communist Party prevailed. And this particular party, Kuomintang, और अच्छा ठीक है हाँ, this had to flee. इनको भागना पड़ा in 1949 to an island which today we call Taiwan. तो अगर तैवान की बात करें तो उसको ROC रिपब्लिक ऑफ चाइना भी बोलते हैं ये लोग. और अगर मेनलैंड चाइना एक्ट जो आज की डेट पे जिसको हम चाइना बोलते हैं उसको पीपल्स रिपब्लिक ऑफ चाइना बोला जाता है. ठीक है. यस, बिकॉज ऑफ फोर्स. Formosa is also something. Correct. Absolutely right. Okay. अब इसके बाद क्या हो गया? That they professed a lot of. China said, चलो ठीक है, you you have to be a part of us. They never said that you're not going to be a part of us. They said what we are going to propose is one China, two systems. One China, two systems is something, yes, Saundarya. One China, two, yes, they flew to Taiwan. Like in Hong Kong, like in Macau, and like in Taiwan. Correct. Now, the point is, for the longest time, Taiwan did not want to have any kind of a relationship with China. But then what happened was, Taiwan and China, they got into an economic framework. इन्होंने 2010 में एक अग्रीमेंट साइन की क्योंकि तैवान को लगा हमारी इकोनॉमी तो अच्छा कर नहीं रही, क्या पता चाइना के साथ रह के ही अच्छी कर जाए. तो दे क्रिएटेड समथिंग कॉल्ड द इकोनॉमिक cooperation framework agreement. Economic cooperation framework agreement. But what did this do? This further weakened Taiwan ki economy. Because you have to understand, China is like India के इनफॉर्मल मनी लेंडर्स. हमने ये पॉलिटिकल साइंस में पढ़ा है, हमने ये बचपन में पढ़ा है कि पहले के टाइम पे बैंक्स नहीं होते थे, पहले के टाइम पे इनफॉर्मल लेंडर्स होते थे who used to give us a loan. They used to give us the loan at whatever rate of interest they wanted to give, at whatever type of terms and conditions. And when we were not able to pay back that loan, they used to take away our property. They used to make us their slaves. बंधुआ मजदूरी. यही चाइना ने हर जगह किया है, इंक्लूडिंग श्रीलंका जिसकी बात कल हमने की थी, through Hambantota port, including Pakistan, including Maldives, including Kenya. Debt trapping, absolutely right. ठीक है. Okay. So it further weakened Taiwan की economy. मैं तुमको कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग बताती हूँ. इसके बाद तैवान के स्टूडेंट्स ने प्रोटेस्ट किया. And this particular protest is called the Sunflower Protest, or also known as also happening in 2010 only. Okay, so Sunflower Student Movement, wherein they actually stood there with sunflowers in their hand and they were like, listen, you can't do this to us. Don't make such things. Don't make such agreements. ऐसे तो बहुत yes, हांगकांग में umbrella movement. And Sudhanva is right. This is the Tiananmen Square. Sunflower, they just held the sunflower in their hand and they were like, listen to us, don't do this to us, whatever it is. ये तो मैं आपको समझाने के लिए समझा रही हूँ बेटा. मैं जो आपको दिखाने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ इज दैट ऐसा नहीं है कि इनके बीच में अग्रीमेंट्स नहीं हुई. ये अग्रीमेंट हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. अब सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग दैट मे बी वी नो मे बी वी डोंट. यस सौंदर्य करेक्ट. So the very first US का president who visited Taiwan was Dwight Eisenhower. This is in 1960. अब मैं तुमको एक और चीज बताऊंगी जो मेरे लिए भी बहुत बड़ी बात थी. When I was doing research for you guys, that's when I realized, I mean, I did not know this before that, honestly speaking, is that there was this one guy who basically came, and yes, Kabir, who basically came and, sort of sabotaged the relationship between Taiwan and US, and that was President Nixon. पहले इसका screenshot लो फटाफट से. Again, I'm saying we'll do this on 2 days because I would also like to do Foxconn. ठीक है, फॉक्सकॉन भी करना पड़ेगा हमें. हाँ, रिचर्ड निक्सन, वही जिसने गोल्ड और उसके बीच में, हाँ, ब्रेटन वुड्स वाला, करेक्ट. इमेजिन यार, आई ऑल्सो रेड इट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. यस, लाइब्रेरी ग्रुप. No, the first guy to visit was Dwight Eisenhower, and the guy to basically sort of end the relationship, that man was President Nixon. Take a screenshot, let me know. Yes, Abhyuday. लास्ट पार्ट का रेफरेंस ऐसा है कि मैंने सिर्फ इतना बोला कि यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका में से कौन सा ऐसा प्रेसिडेंट था जो यहाँ पे गया था तैवान में बेटा, क्योंकि मैं अभी नांसी ये बहुत सारे लोगों की बात करने वाली हूँ. हाँ करेक्ट, ठीक है. Dwight was also the first US president to visit India. Lovely. Okay, let's do this. So in the year 1972, actually, so in the year 1972, this guy, Richard Nixon, for the first time said, did not sever the ties, but said that we should focus more on People's Republic of China than Republic of China. Now, what is Republic of China? Republic of China is basically Taiwan. सबसे पहला इंसान जिसने ये इंटेंशन दिखाई वो था रिचर्ड निक्सन. The first guy to formally do it was Jimmy Carter in 1979. So right after that, the US President Jimmy Carter, US President, right? Jimmy Carter was the one who formally severed ties, cut off the ties with Taipei or Taiwan. The capital of Taiwan is Taipei, right? So let me just, so Taiwan. ठीक है? So that is another thing that might be interesting for you. Apart from that, of course, कुछ बच्चों ने लिखा है. So former speaker स्पीकर्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो गए इनके यूएस के. नैन्सी पेलोसी, राइट? शी विजिटेड यूएस की स्पीकर. She visited Taiwan, which was a huge deal, and this happened in 2022. Yes, we'll have to learn this because Kevin McCarthy was just removed, and China threatened, yes, to blow off her airplane, right? So she was the recent one to visit Taiwan. Now, we can talk about a lot of visits from Taiwan into India, into the United States also, so that we can finish off this Taiwan topic. So, very recently, and by recently I mean 2023 में ही, Taiwan का जो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है, his name is William Lai. He went through New York into a country called Paraguay. Paraguay में गया through New York, and right after that, China got really, really angry, and China basically started off these military drills in and around Taiwan. Military drills इन्होंने शुरू कर दी. They got very angry at that, right? In fact, Taiwan का जो डिफेंस मिनिस्टर है, his name is Chiu. Yes, you have to learn this. Chiu Cheng. Since the beginning of this year, he has been saying that China has already entered our exclusive economic zone, and the day is not far away that they will enter our territorial water. So Nancy Pelosi last year in 2022 visited Taiwan. She was a former US speaker. After, I said it is important because of the fact that Kevin McCarthy was the one who was just removed. So before that, even she was a speaker, and she was very much in news because she wanted to go to Taiwan. Interestingly enough, Afreen, there are only 13 countries that actually recognize Taiwan, and US is not one of them. Neither is India for that matter. But US wants to put in a lot of money. That's a separate issue, है ना? They give them a lot of arms and ammunition. In fact, in this year, US has promised to give Taiwan 345 million US dollar. ये अलग बात है, उनका खुद का डेट सीलिंग क्राइसिस चल रहा है, बट चलो ठीक है. Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan because of the fact, okay, so I'm saying it again. US does have a huge issue with China. And that is primarily because of the fact that, for the longest time, it was just the United States of America that was doing well in the field of economy. चाहे वो कोई भी चीज हो. अब मैं आपको सिंपल एग्जांपल अगर दूं तो एप्पल का एग्जांपल दे रही हूँ. जो आपके आईफोन्स होंगे, आप सारे के सारों के होंगे, बहुत पैसे वाले हो आप सारे के सारे. Now point is this, that they also started off, and they also put up, so there was this company called Huawei. I don't know whether you guys have heard of that or not, but Huawei was one company that was doing exceptionally well. ऑनर का जो है, एब्सोल्युटली, वो थोड़ी देर में बात करेंगे. ऑनर का ये हुआवे की जो सीएफओ है, उसको अरेस्ट करवा दिया था यूएस ने, सीईओ की डॉटर को, वो भी कनाडा में. क्यों? क्योंकि यूएस इज वेरी थ्रेटेंड. इतनी इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट इतनी ज्यादा अच्छी तरह से उन्होंने देखी नहीं किसी और की. अब नैन्सी पेलोसी उधर क्यों जा रही है? इवन दो यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका hasn't recognized this as a country, because they do realize the stupidity that Nixon had done, and after that formerly Jimmy Carter had done. She wanted to go there. She wanted to show that US is on your side. And China said, listen, तू जिस plane में बैठी है ना, उस plane को उड़ा देंगे हम लोग. अब हम नैन्सी पेलोसी की बात ही क्यों कर रहे हैं? बिकॉज वी आर सिटिंग इन 2023, बिकॉज केविन मैकार्थी हैज आल्सो बीन रिमूव्ड. So they can ask you about Kevin McCarthy. They can also ask you about this. This does not form the premise to this conclusion. This class is not CR. Simple as that. That's just how the world works. I'm sorry. It's not always logical. ठीक है. अब ध्यान से सुनो सारे के सारे. ठीक है. सो ऐसा है कि ये वाली चीज, नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट EEZ and we are, so William Lai in Paraguay. Okay. So now whatever is written over here, I'm going to tell you. Kevin McCarthy will be done, Sia, when we do the United States. Actually, we'll take up the theme of speaker and then we'll talk about India and बाकी सारे speakers. ठीक है? वो चीज तब करी जाएगी, आज नहीं बेटा, क्योंकि वो सब कुछ साथ में नहीं कर सकते. आज ये खत्म करते हैं और ये भी आज खत्म नहीं होगा, ये कल खत्म होगा. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that even though United States of America doesn't recognize Taiwan as a sovereign country, they end up giving them a lot of aid, they end up giving them a lot of money. Right? Correct. So now, keeping that in mind, you have to know that in 2023, the vice president of Taiwan, William Lai, he had gone to Paraguay. But in between, he sort of landed in New York also. China got very livid. क्यों? क्योंकि जब कोई ताइवान से यूएस में जाएगा, चाइना को लगेगा कल जाके नोटिफिकेशन आ जाए कि भाई ये तो चाहते हैं, ये तो ये मान रहे हैं कि ताइवान एक अलग देश है, तो चाइना को प्रॉब्लम होगी. ठीक है. Every country has the right to develop, also to protect its own interest and establish rule of law. What did government of America established by American law wrong here? We do the same. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm talking about perspectives. In that sense, Ashutosh, even Canada is not wrong. Or is it? With respect to Khalistan, with all due respect. Anyway, coming back over here, so this is what happened with Taiwan and Vice President, the president. And so they started off with a lot of military drills. So William Lai is correct. Correct. Okay. Hanji, yes, mana gaya. So the Taiwan defense minister since the beginning of 2023 has been saying that China is sort of coming and they are impinging on our rights. वो ऑलरेडी हमारे EEZ में आ चुके हैं, अब वो हमारे टेरिटोरियल वाटर में भी आ रहे हैं. ठीक है. So EEZ is up to 200 nautical miles. Territorial water is up to 12 nautical miles. Kindly take a screenshot, let me know so that we can go ahead. EEZ is exclusive economic zone. This is up to 200 nautical miles. This is up to 12 nautical miles. Okay, let's do that. I can do that for you. So what we are talking about is United Nations Convention on the Law of Seas, wherein if this is your coastline, within your coastline, jitna bhi pani hai, that is termed as your inland water, which belongs to your own country. If this is known as the coastline, from the coastline up to 12 nautical miles, wherein 1 nautical mile is equal to 1.852 meters. 1 nautical mile then will be sorry, this is kilometers, not meters. 1852 meters, and 1 nautical mile is equal to 1.152 miles. तीनों सवाल क्लैट ने पूछे हैं, क्लैट के क्वेश्चंस हैं before 2020. Anyway, the next thing is, this is known as territorial water. What is territorial water? This area belongs to me. No one can come here without my permission, right? And if somebody does come here without my permission, then I will look at your intention. Intention is bona fide, I'll give you a warning. If the intention is malified, I can take any kind of action against you. From up to 24 nautical miles, this is known as a contiguous zone. What is the meaning of a contiguous zone? This basically means that my tax laws will apply, my country's tax laws will apply, and finally, up to 200 nautical miles is basically our exclusive economic zone, जहाँ पे मेरी कंट्री जो है वो यहाँ पे इकोनॉमिक एक्सप्लॉयटेशन कर सकती है, पैसा कमा सकती है, ठीक है. And anything beyond this is known as the high seas, जिसके ऊपर इस साल में 2023 में यूएन ने एक ट्रीटी बनाई कॉल्ड द हाई सीज ट्रीटी. Or this is also known as beyond, actually it's called biodiversity beyond natural national jurisdiction. Treaty. It hasn't come into force yet, but when it does, of course, it will be legally binding. Exclusive economic zone means exclusively मेरा देश यहाँ पे इकोनॉमिक एक्सप्लॉयटेशन कर सकता है, पैसा कमा सकता है, पॉलीमेटालिक नोड्यूल्स की माइनिंग कर सकता है, अपना समुद्रयान उसमें डाल सकता है. I guess we know it, right? What is High Seas Treaty all about? I just told you. So, High Seas Treaty is basically the marine ecology beyond 200 nautical miles, because we are all a part of the Convention on Biological Diversity that says we can't kill the biological diversity. So we are basically talking about the biological diversity there कि अगर कल जाके मेरी शिप वहां पे चली गई जयन और कोई ऑयल स्पिलिंग हो गई जिसके कारण वहां की मरीन बायोलॉजी का कचरा मच गया, then who will be responsible and how will we make them responsible, right? So that is what this is. Fine. All of this is connected and can be asked. Absolutely right. ठीक है. Also called the Paris Agreement for Ocean. Yes. कमलेश, जैसे आपके और आपके नेबर के बीच में टेरिटरी को डिमार्केट किया है, उसी तरीके से पानी पे किया है. पानी पे किलोमीटर नहीं बोल सकते क्योंकि ये जमीन नहीं है, पानी है, तो नॉटिकल माइल्स बोल दिया. यहाँ पे बोला 12 नॉटिकल माइल्स मेरी टेरिटरी, कोई उसके अंदर आया, जैसे आप ट्रेस पास पढ़ते हैं लीगल में, तो वो ट्रेस पास चाहे वो इंटेंशनल हो अनइंटेंशनल हो हमें अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, ठीक है. 24 नॉटिकल माइल्स इज कंटिगुअस जोन जहाँ पे मेरे टैक्स लॉज अप्लाई होते हैं, और 200 नॉटिकल माइल्स तक एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन, ठीक है. अब बियॉन्ड दैट इज हाई सीज. फाइन बेटा, जिसके जो सवाल, बस 10 मिनट और, and then I will answer all of your questions. Just let me do a little bit of the topic. ठीक है? Okay. So from the beginning of this particular year, yes सुधानवा, साउथ चाइना कल ही होगा बेटा, आज तो ट्राई मार ही नहीं सकते. इनलैंड हो गया तुम्हारे देश में, तुम्हारे घर पे जो भी है वो तुम्हारा, तुम्हारे देश का पानी तुम्हारा, तुम डिसाइड करोगे क्या करना है. Anyway, so Chiu Q Chen, please take a screenshot. Let me know once you're done with it. Satyam sir will address us today. I will just ask sir and let you know. Take a screenshot, let me know. Should we do the quiz today or tomorrow? Will the PDF be covered tomorrow? Yes, beta. Sure. Yeah. That is, the test is from the PDF. You want to give it today? Your wish. You want to give it tomorrow? Your wish. Totally your wish. Now you must be doubting, why did you leave teaching UPSC? No, I don't consider anyone stupid, beta. क्यों stupid बोलेंगे? ठीक है. As in UPSC aspirants, you taught UPSC. Yeah, my student is ranked 70 this year. तुमको बहुत ज्यादा ऐसे, तुमको लग रहा है ऐसा हो नहीं सकता? आदित्य शर्मा. He's my student, ranked 70. Anyway, we will continue that tomorrow. अच्छा है ना? Have you ever tried? नहीं बेटा, मेरे को पढ़ाना अच्छा लगता है. कल सत्यम सर होंगे. अब मेरी बात सुनो. Of course पढ़ा दूंगी बेटा. हाँ, you can give the test tomorrow. Now listen to me. Kal Satyam sir and I will take your class, and sir will also take a DI session tomorrow. All right? Done? Thank you, Devans. Such a sweetheart. अरे DI यार, data interpretation बच्चे. ठीक है, we'll tell you that tomorrow. Now let's do a little bit. ठीक है? Okay, Tejas, I'll do that. So let's finish this off. आप लोगों ने इसका screenshot ले लिया ना? ठीक है, थोड़ा सा खत्म कर देते हैं. ठीक है, so we've spoken about the vice president going there and how China seemed to have a problem with it. Apart from that, बच्चे, in the year 2023 itself, Anvesha, that's not possible at all. Like, पता नहीं, मैं ये नहीं हो पाएगा. The test is on the portal. Yes, it is. अभी तुम लोग चुप करो और मेरे को बात पढ़ाने दो. ठीक है. सो 2023 की अगर हम बात करें, एक और चीज हुई है, that the president of Taiwan, and the president of Taiwan was a female. She's the first female president, by the way. Her name is Tsai Ing-wen. She visited the United States of America, and she went and met two people. One, she met this guy who is not really, मतलब इसकी नौकरी चली गई. His name is Kevin McCarthy, US speaker. And then she also she also met this guy called Jake Sullivan. Jake Sullivan is basically the counterpart of Ajit Doval, right? The national security advisor. इसकी नौकरी चली गई क्योंकि यूएस ने बहुत पैसा दे दिया यूक्रेन को, और यूएस के पास खुद पैसा सरकार को चलाने के लिए नहीं है, तो इसको निकाल दिया. पहला यूएस का स्पीकर जिसको निकाल दिया. और ये अलग थीम रहेगी जिसमें हम स्पीकर्स एंड पार्लियामेंट्स की बात करेंगे. ठीक है? या द सेक्रेटरी ऑफ स्टेट, करेक्ट. NSA of the US, absolutely. So that's what she did. Then apart from that, we've done the VP, we've done the defense minister, and that's what Taiwan is all about. Kevin McCarthy has a big heart, just that he didn't take out money from his own pocket, took out money from the government treasury. Yeah, yeah, he's the Secretary of State. Beta, I'm just saying he's like Ajit Doval. Like, okay? You're right. US Secretary of State. So, the president of Taiwan, she's a female. She's the first female Samriddhi who went to the United States of America, and she met two people, Kevin McCarthy, US Speaker, ये for another day. क्योंकि बच्चे ये एक स्पीकर है जिसको रिमूव कर दिया इससे पहले कभी भी. हाँ, एंटनी ब्लिंकन है ना, एंटनी ब्लिंकन है, सॉरी माय बैड. This guy is not Anthony Blinken. This guy is actually the counterpart of Ajit Doval. Anyway, यूएस स्पीकर को हटा दिया. एनएससीएस जेक सलिवन. या आई ओनली गॉट दिस कंफ्यूज्ड, माय बैड. ओके, लिसन टू मी एवरीवन. हाँ. या तो ये दोनों चीजें हो गई, ठीक है. तो ये तैवान की बात हो गई.